Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from TechMac. I'm Kaveh and today I'm going to show you how to run picoclaw on a low memory Linux device such as Raspberry Pi or Orange Pi. So picoclaw basically is a super light version of OpenClaw and it only needs about 10 megabytes of RAM in order to run. While OpenClaw needs at least 2 gigabytes of RAM, which can be expensive if you try to run it on a VPS server or an embedded device. And although picoclaw is not as powerful as OpenClaw, it definitely works great as a personal AI assistant. To give you an idea, in order to run an OpenClaw server on the cloud, you need to at least spend $8 to $12 a month. And not to mention the subscription that you need to pay in order to run your LLM API as well. But with around $15, you can buy a small Linux-based embedded device with no subscription and just run picoclaw on it forever. Before we start, I need to say that this tutorial basically works on any Linux device, and the only difference in my setup is that my Orange Pi is running Ubuntu ARM. So I'll download the ARM version of picoclaw. Other than that, the rest of the steps are pretty much the same on other Linux devices, even if you use a cheap VPS server. I'll try to keep this video as short as possible because the steps are not that difficult. And in a follow-up video, I'll show you how to expose your picoclaw web UI through Cloudflare on the public internet without needing an static IP. Alright, basically we will be covering creating a Telegram bot for free for your OpenClaw server, and then find some free models on OpenRouter to use as our LLM API. Then we're gonna generate an API key from OpenRouter, and at the end we're gonna configure picoclaw in its web dashboard and access it from our own computer. By the end of the video, you will be able to talk to your own device from a Telegram bot, and picoclaw will be running on your terminal as well. Now let's go to step 1 and create our Telegram bot. Okay, now in order to create a Telegram bot, we need to search bot fodder in our Telegram app. So you have to be signed in your Telegram application. And then I click start for the bot, and I need to enter the command new bot. So once I enter the command, it tells me to choose a name for your bot. So I choose TechMac OpenClaw bot. It's just a normal name, you can write anything that you want. Now here I have to write a username for my bot. So I'm just gonna write TechMac _ OpenClaw bot. Doesn't matter really. And then it's gonna give me a token to my bot, which is a token that you can access your bot with. Your OpenClaw can connect your bot with this token, and you can check the messages of your bot with this token. Now, in order to make sure that your Telegram bot is currently working, you have to put your token in this URL. So you have to put your token exactly here without removing the bot. So it will look like something, it will look something like this. And then you paste it in your browser. And as you can see, it says it's okay, and there are some results. And the array is basically empty because I haven't texted my bot yet. So if I just enter my bot here and then click start, refresh this, as you can see my Telegram ID and the name of my account and everything. So then copy this ID. We're gonna use it later. All right, now step 1 is done. Let's head over to step 2 in order to get our API key from OpenRouter. All of the URLs and the codes that you have to work with are available in the description of the video. So don't worry, you don't have to write them down or type them down manually. They're all in the description of the video, so don't worry. If I forgot anything, just put them in the comments. I'll add them to the description as soon as possible. All right, for step 2, we are heading over to the OpenRouter website, and then we're gonna get our own API key and find some free LLMs. In order to do that, you can just click on sign up. If you don't have an account, just create one. If you have an account, just try to log in. I'm just gonna use Google because it's the easiest option. Once you're on the OpenRouter homepage, just click Get API Key, and your profile picture should be here. It means you're logged in. Just click on Get API Key, and you can see I have 2 API keys already available. Just create another one just to make sure, just to teach you how to do it. It's pretty simple. Just write a random name. I'm just going to write TechMac OpenClaw 2 because this is the second one, and leave the other options empty. You don't need it. Just hit create, and it shows you an API key, which is only shown once. So make sure to copy it and save it somewhere. Don't try to copy my API keys. You have to create your own because I will be deleting and revoking all of them anyway. So, all right, now we have created an API key for ourselves. Let's just head to the models page. On the left-hand side, you see prompt pricing. Lower this one until you hit free, and then filter all the text models. And as you can see, we have 32 text models that we can use for free. Using our OpenRouter API in order to give power to our OpenClaw server. I'm just going to go down and choose this model. So I just have to copy the name of the model. Then I'll save it somewhere. I've saved it already here. Just gonna copy and paste it. We're going to use it to configure our OpenClaw server as well. All right, so we are finished with the step 2. Let's head over to step 3, and that's connecting to our device. So it can be any Linux device. So I'm just going to use my Orange Pi here. Just going to connect it and wait until it boots up. All right, my device has booted up. I'm just going to SSH over to my device and connect to it. We wait a bit, enter our password, and we're in. All right, now we only have to download the right version of picoclaw on our server. So now I'm running on an ARM device, so I have to download the ARM version. But if you are connecting to a cloud VPS, it's probably not an ARM server, so just download the x64 version. If you're on Mac OS, download the Mac OS version definitely, and if you're on Windows, download the Windows version. In order to make everything clean, I'm just gonna create a folder called picoclaw. Make sure the folder is there. Just gonna change my directory to picoclaw. So the picoclaw folder is right now empty. So here's the documentation of picoclaw. As you can see, there are all the steps that you need to figure out in order to configure the server, the feature, and everything is here. But now I'm just gonna find the link for downloading the right version. So as you can see, the ARM64 version is this one. This is what I'm going to use. So just let's go back to the terminal and download this one. In order to do that, I'm gonna copy the link to it and write wget. Click right here, and as you can see, it starts downloading the file. So don't worry, again, all the commands that you need are going to be in the description of the video. You can just copy and paste them, you don't have to type them out. And I type ls to make sure the file is here, and just gonna write this command in order to extract the file and wait for it to be over. So as you can see, I have a few files here, which the most important one is picoclaw and picoclaw-launcher, which I'm going to work with now. So I need to mention that picoclaw has its own launcher. It's a web UI launcher that runs through your browser, and you can configure everything with a mouse or some clicks and the GUI. So you don't have to tweak the config file manually through your terminal. So don't worry about that. Now, in order to run picoclaw, we can run picoclaw onboard. Once we do this, we have to see something like this. It tells us that picoclaw is working perfectly. But if you face a problem, just write it in the comments or search it in Google. You'll definitely find a solution for it. But now I want to run the launcher of picoclaw. So I just write picoclaw-launcher -public means I public this launcher in my local network because I don't have a desktop on this. I do, but I'm not going to work it on here. So I make it public to the whole network so I can access it through my own laptop. And then I'm going to hit no browser, so it doesn't open up a browser in my device and then slow it down. Once I hit enter, it seems like nothing happened. But if we enter the command hostname -i, as you can see, this is the local IP of my device. I'm just going to copy it. We head over to our browser, and the port for accessing the picoclaw launcher is 18800. So once I enter this, as you can see, the picoclaw launcher is here. Once you open the picoclaw launcher for the first time, it asks you to enter a password. So I just enter my password, I click sign in, and as you can see, this is the dashboard for picoclaw. Now we head over to the models tab. We want to add our model to our picoclaw server, and then we click on add model. Now, in order to add a model to our picoclaw server, we just have to enter a name for it in this box, the first one, and I'm just going to call it free and video model. And then for model identifier, it will be this one that we have copied from the models list. The API key would be the API key of our OpenRouter server, and we will also need a base URL for OpenRouter API. Right now, the base URL is this, but you can always search it in Google. I will also put this in the description of the video, so you can just copy it. Once you have entered all the details, just check on default model and click on add. And no thanks. As you can see here, there is a yellow button, which is a restarting button for the gateway of picoclaw. It basically restarts picoclaw. When you add a new model, specifically a default model, it brings it here. So once you click on it, it will go away. It restarts the server and it's back on. If you haven't seen the yellow button, it might be because you haven't chose the model that you have just added as default model. So in order to do that, you can click on the star here. And as you can see, it appears again. I'm just gonna go back to the free and video model. And as you can see, the restart just vanished. You can always just turn off your gateway and then start it again. But if you ever tried to restart your gateway and it didn't work and it's stuck on the green button, probably the picoclaw isn't supporting the model that you have just added. So for now, I'm just going to start my gateway, and in order to test it, I head over to the chat menu, and as you can see, the free NVIDIA model is pre-selected, and this is the list of the models I have. Most of them require an API key, but this one I have already entered my API key, and I'm just going to write who created you, or who made you, or any question like that, doesn't matter. I'm just gonna check and see if the model is working. As you can see, it's doing some reasoning in the background, which I can see here, and everything works fine. So I just have to wait for an answer, but this basically means everything is fine. Okay, now as you can see, the model has responded to my question. So I don't care about the answer. This means the model is perfectly working fine. And I'm gonna head over to the Telegram tab in order to configure it. All right, now once we are in Telegram page, we have to enter the bot token, and we can also add our Telegram user ID that we have copied from the first step of the video. And we can put it here to make sure that our bot only responds to our own account and nobody else can use it. But I'm just gonna ignore this step, but if you want to do it, just copy and paste here and click confirm. So I don't need it right now. Then we're gonna go back to bot fodder, copy our bot token, paste it here, and then base URL is already entered, and I'm just gonna check in typing indicator and placeholder message. I'm gonna write let me think. So when we text our bot, it sends you a text saying that let me think, and then it responds you. So once we have finished everything, I just hit save just to make sure I stop and start my gateway to make sure everything is working. So I'm just gonna go to Telegram, and as you can see, I just got 2 messages. See, I already asked the question who made you, and it answered me. So I'm just gonna add what's the weather in New York, which probably won't have access to the weather application or software or website, but I'm just going to test it. I don't care about the answer. I just want to see if the model can actually do something. All right, so apparently my model could find an access to a weather API or something, a website. As you can see, it's 12 degrees in New York, so I don't care about the answer again. So basically that's it. Our picoclaw server is basically working right now. I think during the video I have said OpenClaw instead of picoclaw because I've been working with both of them for the past week, so I might get them confused sometimes. But we were working with picoclaw the whole time, of course. There are a lot of skills and tools inside the picoclaw dashboard that you can work with. You can learn about them. So for example, if you go to skills, and there's an agent browser, which you can install an agent browser if you want. It will give access to a browser through terminal for picoclaw, and it can access websites, it can click buttons, it can do many great things with your server. So it's just optional. You can use it if you want or not. If you want to tweak the config file, you can always click on this menu, and some of the options are configurable here through GUI buttons and I don't know, text boxes and everything. If you wanted to see the raw config, it will be here. So if whenever you wanted to enable or disable something, you just have to enter the details that you want and hit save. It will be much easier than editing them using Nano or Vim through terminal, and it's nice to have this feature. If you want to connect other channels such as, I don't know, WhatsApp or some Chinese app here like QQ and WeChat, you can use it here. There are some agents that you can make. You can create sub-agents with picoclaw. It has so many features, but in order to know how to start them and use them, you have to go to their documentation page, their GitHub page, their website, and I will leave a link to both of them in the description of the video. Alright, basically this was the tutorial of running picoclaw on a low-end device, something like an Orange Pi. My Orange Pi has only 1 GB of RAM and I couldn't run OpenClaw on it. Some devices even have less than 1 GB. So in order to run something like OpenClaw, you have to go with picoclaw. So don't forget to leave comments if you have any question, and I will answer all of them as soon as I can. And I will see you in the next video.